my warning to all Americans. The U.S. government has created a network of FEMA concentration death camps in America for Americans. And under a state of martial law, the roundup of American citizens begins. History repeats itself, and we must remember that the U.S. government rounded up the African Americans, held them against their will, enslaved them, and God knows how many millions of them were killed during the slavery centuries. History also teaches that the U.S. government rounded up the Indians, held them against their will, enslaved them, and murdered God knows how many of them. History also teaches that in 1954, the U.S. government rounded up 2 million Mexicans from America in a program designated Operation Wetback. History also teaches that on February 19, 1942, President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, and under the terms of this executive order, over 120,000 people of Japanese descent living in the U.S. were placed in concentration camps by the U.S. government during World War II. All this is a testament to the fact that the U.S. government has experience in rounding humans up and holding them against their will, which is extremely troubling when you consider the Rex 84 plan. Rex 84 was a classified drill developed by the United States federal government to round up large numbers of U.S. citizens deemed to be national security threats, in the event that the president declared a state of national emergency. As exposed in the Iran-Contra hearings in 1987, a contingency plan was developed by the U.S. government in the event of a national emergency to suspend the American Constitution and declare martial law. To make matters worse, on January 22, 2009, H.R. 645, H.R. stands for House Resolution, H.R. 645 was introduced to the House of Representatives by L.C.L. Hastings of Florida. It was formally introduced on March 29, 2007 as H.R. 1796. It was again introduced as H.R. 390 on January 23, 2013. And whatever the numbers attached to H.R., the bill is known as the National Emergency Establishment Act. And under another terrorist attack, war, or national disaster, the House, the Senate, and President Donald Trump can sign this bill into law, and the FEMA camps that have already been built will be activated and the roundup of American citizens begins. Now, these citizens are already on lists, according to the Miami Herald, that reported on Rex 84 on July 5, 1987. They have set things up decades in advance. This law, if ever passed, will direct the Secretary of Homeland Security to establish at least 6 emergency centers, otherwise known as FEMA camps, on military installations. The Illuminati international bankers and their secret society politicians in our government have set up a nationwide martial law apparatus through the U.S. Northern Command, FEMA, and the Department of Homeland Security. We already know the detention facilities that are called residential centers are already in place. But now they want to legalize the construction of FEMA camps on military installations for American citizens, all while using the excuse that the facilities are for the purposes of a national emergency. The goal is the extermination of American resistors to the New World Order, the Antichrist one world global government, as patriots, constitutionalists, and Second Amendment supporters, and all Christians are to be rounded up and exterminated. On December 2010, True TV unexplainably pulled an episode of Governor Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory show that was exposing the FEMA camps and plastic coffins for Americans. Shortly after the Season 2 episode Police State aired, U.S. Representative Steve Cohen from Tennessee, who was interviewed in the episode, called for the removal of this program from True TV's lineup, and it never aired again on national television. Congressman Ron Paul, during his 2011 campaign, was asked about H.R. 645 and whether or not it could lead to Americans being incarcerated in detention camps during a state of martial law. Ron Paul responded, "Yeah, that's their goal. They're setting the stage for violence in this country, no doubt about it." The following recording is a statement made by Mr. C, who is believed to be El Cupid, who was a former inspector for the Joint Chief of Staff and the Department of Defense. Today he can best be described as a committed Christian. He sent out the following message that he wanted to share with humanity about the FEMA camps and what these Illuminati international bankers plan on doing on American soil.
FEMA death camps and the red and blue list under martial law. While I have no doubt that the NWO grievers at the CIA have their own list of people to round up and terminate, the actual proper agency behind the now infamous red-blue lists is none other than FEMA Black OPS. FEMA is not here to primarily help you. Under a full state of martial law, FEMA is here to send you to their detention camps to sort out who shall live and who shall die. Those unfortunates whose names are found among the millions of fellow Americans on FEMA Red Blue lists will never come out of the FEMA camps alive, although they may have to go through hell before they are finally terminated. Such offenders are essentially deemed resistors of the New World Order, as my CIA and military insiders told me personally. Oh, all of us in the CIA know all about the concentration camps in America and their purpose. We all know that their purpose is to terminate resistors of the New World Order under martial law. Source Michael Mahoney, 20 years Naval Intelligence CIA under Bush Sr. For example, the FEMA death camp of the Mojave is a full gas and cremating death camp, dedicated to the termination of all on FEMA's Red Blue lists under martial law. I have previously documented this horrific death camp, and documented the eyewitness accounts of several former NWO supporters who were flown out there. My friends, Doc Marquis, Illuminati, and Elaine Nost, CIA Luciferian, formerly high-level Illuminati Luciferians, but now are supposed Christians for many years, were both flown separately to this facility in the Mojave Desert of California. It boasts a landing strip. According to another contact, a D agent who personally investigated this FEMA facility, it was recently doubled in size to increase killing capacity. It is fully staffed. All staff members wear black SWAT team uniforms. When I asked Doc Marquis what his sentiments were, back when he was a member of the Illuminati, and given a tour of his killing facility, his reply was, "Sheer joy. I rejoiced at the thought of Christians being terminated in this place." A chilling response, but typical of this nation's Satanists and NWO supporters. This FEMA death camp was shown off as something the NWO and FEMA was literally proud of. And there are many more FEMA detention camps whose ultimate purpose under martial law is not to save life, but to terminate human lives deemed unworthy of entering into the dawning of Lucifer's New World Order. Know the cold hard facts about FEMA, and then think twice before going meekly to such camps under a state of martial law in your region. We are all on a red or blue list somewhere. Those on the red list will be walked on at 4 a.m. and taken to the camps and probably killed. Red list, these people are the enemies of the NWO. They are the leaders of patriot groups, outspoken ministers, outspoken talk show hosts, community leaders, and even probably net leaders. These people will be dragged out of their homes at 4 a.m. and will be taken to FEMA detention centers and killed. This will take place approximately 2 weeks before martial law is enforced. We are all on a red or blue list somewhere. Those on the red list will be walked on at 4 a.m. and taken to the camps and probably killed. Red list, these people are the enemies of the NWO. They are the leaders of patriot groups, outspoken ministers, outspoken talk show hosts, community leaders, and even probably net leaders. These people will be dragged out of their homes at 4 a.m. and will be taken to FEMA detention centers and killed. This will take place approximately 2 weeks before martial law is enforced. Blue list, these are also enemies of the NWO, but are followers of the red list folks. These people will be rounded up after martial law is in place, and will be taken to the detention centers and re-educated. Various mind control techniques will be used on them. Most will not survive this. Mr. Springmeyer was not specific on exactly who was on the blue list, but I would guess that people such as you and I are on that list. Yellow list, these are citizens who know nothing about the NWO, which is the New World Order, and don't want to know. They are considered to be no threat at all, and will be instructed as to how to behave, and will most likely do whatever they are told. Unfortunately, there are too many of these to be effectively controlled, so many will be killed or starved. By the way, once you're in the FEMA camp, they will start chipping the people with the satanic RFID chip 666. All this and much more is prophesied in the book of Revelation. Start opening your Bibles again and learn from God Himself how He wants us to walk according to His Word. The time is now. This may be your last chance.
The Illuminati international bankers, led by the Jewish satanic House of Rothschild, built up Hitler's concentration camps. They put Hitler into power and had him round up and exterminate millions of Jews. These international bankers are now going to do the same thing here in America. And that's what the FEMA death camps are for. They want to round up and exterminate Second Amendment supporters, constitutionalists, gun owners, Christian pastors, Bible-believing Christians, and all those on their red and blue lists. Watch your government, Americans, for it is a bigger threat than the NSA and CIA's created phony war on terror. In fact, it's the international bankers funding the CIA and the NSA to carry out the extermination of the population through the terrorist cells, all in an attempt to create a global police state and finally destroy our constitutional rights. Signs are all around us if you know what to look for. Have a wonderful day.